Let's talk about pale bitter European beers today on the Running on Beer Road to Bjcp. Alright, so for starters, standard disclaimer, this is not checked or endorsed by the Bjcp program. So if you have any thoughts, concerns, drop them in the comments. So this is Bjcp Group 5. This group has 4 subcategories in it. They're all German beers: the Leichtbier or Leichtbier, the Kolsch, Helles Export beer, also known as like a Dortmunder Export or Dortmunder Gold, and German Pilsner. They're all from, I think, mostly the same area. Kolsch is from Cologne. Helles Export beer is from Dortmund, which is fairly close to that. Leichtbier and Pilsner are fairly classic German beers. German Pilsner, of course, is a descendant of the Czech Pilsner, and they've probably been around since before we have a good history of where they actually came from. So, Leichtbier is a low-alcohol, light-bodied, slightly less aggressive German Pils or Helles. So it's, I guess, like the Miller Lite in Germany, and it probably tastes a lot better than Miller Lite. Okay, I shouldn't rip on Miller Lite, but you get the idea. So Kolsch, they say to the untrained taster, it can be easily mistaken as a cream ale or a somewhat subtle Pils. I've only had a few Kolsches and only one was German, and they're a fairly fragile beer style, so it's difficult to get good ones here in the States, other than if they're brewed here, which they're technically a Kolsch style, not a Kolsch, but still a very good beer. Helles Export beer, also known as a Dortmunder Export, generally less finishing hops and more body than a Pils, but more bitter than a Helles. And then the German Pilsner is a light-bodied, highly attenuated, gold-colored, bottom-fermenting, bitter German beer showcasing excellent head retention and an elegant floral hop aroma. In all cases with this, the hops are going to be generally floral, spicy, or herbal. I think every example of one of these I've had has been floral. So in terms of the aroma, rather than going through all 4 of these each individually and taking forever, I thought, maybe I'll just group them all together because there's a lot of similarities. They're obviously 4 different subcategories, but they all have some similarities to them. In general, all of them, the hops should be low to medium hop aroma, with the exception of the German Pils, which can be anywhere from moderately low to moderately high. All hops, of course, floral, spicy, or herbal. The malt aromas kind of differ among them. Leichtbier should be low to medium low malt aroma. A Kolsch, low to very low malt aroma. The Helles Export, more of a moderate malt aroma. And a Pilsner is medium low to low. All of them, grainy sweet, although the Leichtbier can have a slightly crackery malt aroma. Also, the Kolsch can allow for some subtle fruit from fermentation or may have a slight winey or sulfury character. That's because it's not exactly a lager. It's considered more of a hybrid beer where it's top fermented but lagered. So generally a cooler ale fermentation as opposed to an actual lager fermentation. The Helles Export and the Pils do allow for a slight sulfur or a slight background of DMS. In appearance, all of them should be straw to a pale gold, generally the standard beer color. Helles Export can go a little bit darker. All should be clear. And I mean, that's characteristic of German beers. German beers are almost always clear, and these 4 are no exception. And all should have a white head. The Export and the Pilsner may have a longer lasting head, partly because of more hops and more of other things, things in the body, because they're just bigger beers. Flavor-wise, the Leichtbier is a light to medium, grainy sweet malt with a medium hop bitterness, a low to medium hop flavor, and definitely a clean fermentation character with a dry finish. The Kolsch, a little bit different. So the Kolsch should be more of a soft, maybe a slight fruity sweetness, grainy sweet with maybe a light bready or even a honey malt flavor with medium low to medium bitterness. The hop flavor can be anywhere from low to moderately high, and it should be crisp with a dry finish. The export, so the Helles export is bigger than a Leichtbier, and again a little bit darker too in appearance. So the balance there, or the flavor should be balanced between a grainy sweet and the hop flavor. The bitterness should kind of linger, and there should be a dry finish. And then the Pilsner, it should have a medium high to high hop bitterness. And if you've never had a German Pilsner like, Bitburger, which is one you can get in cans now in the States, at least in my part of the States, it is bitter. It's not like a Budweiser or a Miller that is really sweet. I mean, it's a fairly bitter beer, and you'll have that lingering bitterness. The balance definitely towards bitterness. I think I've said bitterness now 5 times with it. Should be crisp. It should be dry to a medium dry with a bitter aftertaste. And then finally, the mouthfeel. So Leichtbiers are light to very light body with a medium to high carbonation. So these are, Leichtbier actually means light beer in German. So these are not strong beers, and when I get into the sort of vital statistics, you'll see how low the ABV is on that. Kolsch should be a medium light to a medium body with medium to medium high carbonation. Helles export should be medium body, medium carbonation, and the Pilsner should be medium light body and medium to high carbonation. And in terms of appearance, this is the Pilsner I have Bitburger. You can see it is very clear. I mean, I'm looking through to my camera here, and yeah, you can see right through it. Nice, thick, white, fluffy head. I did pour this down the side. I didn't pour it straight in the middle or anything. Fairly highly carbonated. A lot of floral, little bit of herbal hops, but primarily floral. The herbal is kind of in the background there. A little bit of a malt aroma, but it's really light. So initially you get that more bitter hop flavor, fairly high hop flavor in this one. Floral hop flavor. There's a little bit of malt in it, but it quickly fades because you've got this lasting bitterness. So vital statistics for all these, the IBUs, they increase for each of the subcategories. So Leichtbier is 15 to 28 IBUs, and it's obviously not as high, partly because of it's not a strong beer, it's a light beer. Kolsch is anywhere from 18 to 30, so getting a little bit stronger there. Helles export is almost the same at 20 to 30. And then Pils should be anywhere from 22 to 40. So the highest bitterness of the entire group. In terms of color, the Leichtbier and the Pils are both 2 to 5, so fairly yellow. The Kolsch is 3.5 to 5, so not really that far different, just they don't expect it to be super light. And then the Helles export is 4 through 7, so it can get a little bit darker. In terms of the OG, the Leichtbier is 1026 to 1034. That's the original gravity, so we're not talking about strong beer here again. Kolsch anywhere from 1044 to 1050. The Helles export 1048 to 1056, and the Pilsner 1044 to 1050. So still not as strong as what a lot of people brew, but these aren't really meant to knock you over. These are the standard daily drinkers over in Germany. Final gravity, the Leichtbier should be somewhere from 1006 to 1010. Kolsch anywhere from 1007 to 1011. Helles export from 1010 to 1015, so it might have a little bit more body with that one. And then the Pilsner from 1008 to 1013. And then ABV wise, the Leichtbier anywhere from 2.4 to 3.6. So that's pretty light. The Kolsch anywhere from 4.4 to 5.2, so decent, decent strength there, but not strong. Helles export anywhere from 4.8 to 6, and then the Pilsner 4.4 to 5.2. So yeah, that's it with this one. I've been kind of jumping around on these, partly to have examples. Next video will probably be the holiday beers. I picked up one pumpkin ale that I thought might be good for a video. So maybe I'll do that one next, because honestly, it's, as of recording, it's October 27th, so I'm not going to have much time before October 31st as it is. So, cheers. So if you want, you can subscribe up here. You just click that little icon that looks like me wearing a hat. And there's a few other videos in this series that are right there. Cheers.